In this review, I'm going to be discussing a holster option by a company called Nate Squared Tactical. And this particular holster is their professional series holster. It is designed specifically to fit the Smith & Wesson Shield without a laser. I'll talk a little bit about the holster first. I got this a little while ago and I have been using it, so I can actually report on usability, so this isn't just an unboxing per se. This particular holster is an inside the waistband holster. It is, of course, their professional series holster, and their professional series holster has the adjustable clip here, the belt clip, and the polycarbonate retention mechanism for the firearm. They have another series of holster that has, I believe, elastic instead of the polycarbonate, but I elected to go with the professional series. The retention mechanism, like I mentioned, is a polycarbonate. They claim it's a very durable thermoplastic, and they also state, or Nate Tactical states, that it has a 30% more tensile strength and double the impact strength of our acrylic polyvinyl chloride. So I'm assuming that that is accurate. I didn't actually go back and do any type of comparisons of materials. Most of these inside the waistband hybrid holsters use a Kydex. Let's see. According to Nate Tactical, the use of the polycarbonate allowed them to develop a positive retention mechanism for their holster with a twist release system. I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. Let's see, I'm reading through my notes here, so sorry about the pauses. I want to make sure I cover all the important facts. Nate Tactical offers a lifetime warranty and a 30-day return or exchange. I read the 30-day return or exchange to mean that if you buy it and you don't like it, you can send it back for a refund, or if after 30 days you decided that you wanted a different option, like say the one with the ability to take a firearm with a laser, they would swap it out for you. Lifetime warranty, of course, covers defects in workmanship and things of that nature, which is good. According to Nate Squared Tactical, these are made from quality oil tanned leather, neoprene, and suede leather. Each holster is handcrafted to ensure the highest quality possible. The oil-tanned leather provides a durable yet safe contact for the handgun. The oil suede backing allows your skin to breathe, so even when you sweat against the holster, it will still feel cool. The natural friction coefficient of suede displaces a percentage of the weight of your firearm. That allows you to carry the firearm without its total weight pulling down against your waistband. It is the suede that allows Nate Tactical to utilize a design with a single clip. Neoprene is sandwiched between the oil-tanned leather and the suede leather. The neoprene provides the padding to protect you from the various edges of the firearm, which would be the slide, the rear sight, the hammer, the beaver tail, if applicable, of course, etc. Even when sitting in a vehicle, it protects your investment. And let's see. The neoprene, of course, is waterproof. It creates a moisture barrier that will not allow sweat or skin acids to come in contact with your handgun. That's important. So that's most of the data that I pulled off of their website. This holster sells on their website for $69.95. I'll put the link for the Nate Squared Tactical website in the link to the video, or in the description of the video. I believe there's $10 for shipping, so you'd be looking at about $80 for this. So now that I've read everything that's on their website, this holster, the back and the front. I'm not unfamiliar with holsters. I've used a lot of different types of holsters. For example, I've used let me just move some of this stuff out of the way for the moment. For example, this is a Kramer. This is a paddle style holster. It's a form-fitted leather that slides inside your waistband. This is not an inside the waistband holster. This sits outside. I've also used these slip-on holsters, which are pocket holsters to put in like a cargo pocket or a pants pocket. Other types of form-fitted holsters. This is not a paddle style. This is you loop a belt through it, but it is a form-fitted leather. And I've used non-hardened leather types of holsters. This is a suede material that's soft. It's collapsible. It does not have any defined shape to it, but it's designed as an inside the waistband holster with a clip on it. So now that I showed you all of those, let me tell you what I don't like about them. This one, for example, this offers no retention for your firearm. This is just a kind of a generic one that I've used. Also, if you do draw your weapon, since it doesn't hold its shape, it can be difficult to get your weapon reholstered. This also allows a large portion of the firearm to come in contact with your body, and it can dig in to your side or your rib or your spine or whatever, and you get sweat and body oils on a portion of your firearm. This paddle holster, of course, this is not an inside the waistband holster. This is outside, not something that I would normally use. This does retain its shape, and it does have a certain amount of retention to the firearm because it's a molded leather. What I really don't like about holsters like this that go inside your pants, that come in contact with your skin, this surface is not very soft, and there's stitching here that can irritate your skin. At least it irritates my skin. And these rivets and the bolts, I can feel these. I don't like the feel of these against my skin. They scrape against my skin and they're uncomfortable. That's the main reason I can't wear this type of holster. This is just not a good design. I think the other holsters, they don't really have any negatives. I mean, the inside the pants holster goes inside the pants. There's no type of weapon retention. You have a weapon that fits in here, and this just kind of helps break up the outline of the firearm in your pocket. And this little piece right here aids in keeping this in your pocket if you draw your firearm out of your pocket. So there's not really any negatives to this per se. It's just a pocket type holster. So what do I like about the Nate? Well, while I was choosing a holster for the Smith & Wesson Shield, I looked at a lot of factors. One, I wanted something that was going to cover the entire firearm. I didn't want any part of the firearm laying against my body. I also did not want any bolts, rivets, or stitching or anything like that to irritate my skin. Now you can see how Nate Squared Tactical designed this. They have the suede here, and this is nice suede. This is a nice, comfortable suede that kind of form-fits to your body. It's soft. There's no sharp edges here. This suede is sandwiched between neoprene and this leather, and it has this nice edging, so all these materials stay together. There's no sharp edges on this. There's no sharp stitching nothing to bother your skin, in my opinion. So this was the main big sell point for me. This was the only type of hybrid holster that I could find that didn't have these rough stitching or rough leather edges or rivets or nuts on the back. So this is a well thought out design. So I give these guys a big amount of credit for taking this holster to the next level and making it as perfect as they could. In my opinion, they made it as perfect as they could. The second thing I like about this is this molded retention mechanism for the firearm. Now, I've used Kydex before, and I like Kydex. I don't have a problem with that. Kydex can be sharp, though. If it's not prepared properly, you can get some sharp edges, and I've actually had Kydex holsters where I've cut myself. So as long as the Kydex is machined properly, it's good material. This polycarbonate is smooth. There's no rough edges on it. There's no sharp edges. You can see the retention clip here. The retention clip allows you to adjust the angle of this clip. So if you want to do like an FBI cant on the holster, like a 15 or 12 or 15 degree, you can adjust the clip accordingly. So this is a good feature. And it does pivot any way you want it. The what Nate calls their, let's see, what do they call it? Their twist release system. I guess they're trying to trademark that. I'll show that. I have my Smith & Wesson shield here. And you can see when we slide the shield in, there's a positive locking of this, and it's locked in there. It's not coming out. Matter of fact, if you just straight pull on this, I'm pulling on it, it's not going to come out either. What you have to do, this of course is easier when this is up against your body. You would reach your hand in and you would twist it slightly towards your body. In other words, I'm twisting it downwards, and the weapon releases freely. I've been wearing this for a while. What I've been doing here with this is I have been, take the firearm out of this again. What I've been doing is actually wearing this around the house and carrying my firearm unloaded, of course, and I've been practicing drawing it and releasing the firearm, trying to build a muscle memory using this type of holster. For many, many years I used a standard holster where it was just a straight draw, so this is a little different, and I would recommend that if you choose this type of holster that has that twist release, that you practice drawing your firearm and build up muscle memory so you instinctively go to your firearm and you twist and you draw. So that would be my recommendation. I've been wearing this. It is showing some indentation from the firearm here. This is the Nate Tactical logo over here, but it's showing some indentation here. It's wearing very well. The one thing I will mention, which I find problematic, is this retention clip. Now you notice this is kind of flopping around here. Well, it was tight, and what you can take your screwdriver and tighten this. I'm holding my finger inside against. It's sort of like a threaded rivet that's in here, and I'm twisting this to tighten it, and I've got it tight again. Now it's tight and it's not flopping around, and you can still move it. The problem is this moves around. Like you saw, it was tight, and I'm moving it around. Notice how it's getting loose, and now it's flopping loose again. This is a prime candidate, this screw and this rivet right down here, for some Loctite. But during my research and the reading of everything that's posted on Nate Squared Tactical's website, they specifically say not to use Loctite on this and that it will void your warranty. Well, okay, so the question, Nate Squared Tactical, what's the fix for this? Because the immediate fix would be Loctite. If I unscrew this, which I'll do, what you have is this item right there, which is a piece of metal, and you have a kind of a little right here. This is a, let's see, this is like a little rubberized washer, and then we have the screw. And if you notice how this goes together, it goes together like so. So if you were to apply Loctite to this screw, for example, and let it dry, and then screw it in to this rivet piece or grommet piece, whatever this is called, I don't think any Loctite would get on this polycarbonate assembly here. And I'm sure the recommendation not to use Loctite is due to people slopping it all over. Loctite doesn't necessarily like plastic too well. I've not got Loctite on, I haven't spilled Loctite on polycarbonate, so I don't know what the reaction would be, but I have to assume that that is the reason they do not recommend that you use Loctite. So keep that in mind, that this particular screw mechanism here on this holster, at least on mine, maybe not all of them are like this, but on mine, I've got problems with this screw loosening up rather quickly, and I find that pretty much every time I have to take the holster off, I have to retighten this screw, and I don't like that. This should ship with Loctite on it and installed and tightened down, so this does not loosen up. What I'm afraid of is this loosening up, and then I end up losing part of this assembly. So do keep that in mind, that is really the only beef, I guess you could call it a complaint. That's probably the only thing I have against this holster at this point. And I think it's rectifiable, and in actuality is rectifiable with some Loctite. So I think this should ship with Loctite, and I think that the concept of voiding the warranty if someone uses Loctite is probably not a good point for them to have on their website. You know, if you're going to prevent people from using Loctite, I think they need to provide another way for that screw to be secured so you don't lose it and it doesn't loosen up on you. Other than that, this, in my opinion, is a phenomenal holster. It does exactly what they advertise it to do. It provides positive retention, securely keeps the firearm away from your bodies and your body oils. And you can see I've for purposes of this video, I have the 8-round magazine here, and you can see that even with this holster, pretty much all of the 8-round magazine is kept away from your body. There's just, let's see if I can, you can see that there's just going to be a smidgen of an edge of it that kind of goes over just a little bit. But even then, that's not going to come in contact with your body. The entire frame assembly and the slide and the sights are all protected by the actual holster mechanism. So, you know, whether you're using the 7-round magazine with the shield or you're using the 8-round magazine, it's good. Their advertised claims of the size of this and the single clip mechanism distributing the weight along with the pressure of your belt and your pants up against your body, they are correct in that this is very comfortable. I don't feel the added weight of the Smith and Wesson M&P Shield at all. It after a while, it's not even really noticeable. I only notice this if I get in the car and I sit down and strap myself in. I can feel this pressing up against my body, and that's just because I'm still not completely used to the bulk of this firearm. And the reason behind that is I've recently upgraded my EDC firearm from a Kel-Tec P3AT, which is the smallest, lightest 380 pretty much on the market, to this shield, and the shield is definitely much larger and it's much heavier. So it's taking a little bit of adjustment for me to get used to the added size and the added weight. But this holster is making the transition very easy. Now I did look at some of the other hybrid offerings, the ones that have the 2 belt clips on it that are a little bit longer, and I thought that those would be a good solution for helping to distribute the weight better. I like the 2 clip concept on those as well. What I didn't like is the raw leather. A lot of those holster manufacturers, they use a single piece of leather. The edges on it, from what I've found, were not really polished or fine-tuned, burnished. I don't know what the term is for that, but they were rough, kind of almost sharp feeling. And then you had this raw leather that was nothing like this suede. It was very rough feeling. And then you had all the rivets and the screws. Again, that's a big pet peeve of mine. That irritates my skin. Any type of rough stitching, rough leather, rivets, things like that, it bothers my skin. Prior to getting the shield, I ran the Kel-Tec, and this is more or less the holster I used with the Kel-Tec here. This is another suede holster, and you see on the back of it, there's nothing on the back of it to irritate my skin. So the suede is very, to me, is very comfortable. So this Nate Squared tactical holster was something I definitely easily gravitated towards. And they addressed all the issues with this holster that I've had with other holsters. So that's why I chose this. And I'm very happy with the decision. And I have no problem recommending this for at least carrying an M&P shield. I don't know how efficient the single clip concept would be with much larger handguns, of course. Maybe the holsters that have 2 clips would do a better job of distributing the weight of, say, a full-size handgun if you were doing a inside the waistband carry. I can't comment on that. So I'm going to wrap up this review of the Nate Squared Tactical Professional Series holster. I definitely, this is a product I definitely recommend. If you run into the problem with this belt clip retention screw loosening up on you, just keep in mind that whatever solution you come up with could possibly invalidate your warranty. So keep that in mind before you make any decisions on how to address that.